So good morning and welcome to our yoga sadhana today. We're going to start in a child's pose. So child's pose is a position of sitting over the ankles, and we'll extend the arms out in front of us. You can rest your forehead down towards the earth. And if your hips don't go all the way down towards your ankles, that's perfectly okay. Just find a way that you can rest in this pose. Let's close the eyes down. And begin to deepen the breath, allowing inhalation to flow in through the nose and rinse up towards the brain and throughout the skull and into the neck and spine. And exhalation moving out of the body, releasing through the nose. You can imagine on your inhalation that your breath is pressing all the way out or permeating all the way out into the furthest edges of the body, the skin, and the muscle and the bone, and then on exhalation that the breath is drawing back inside itself. And we'll take this breathing practice deeper by inviting it into the region of the belly and the navel. So as you're resting in this position, when you inhale, let your belly naturally fill against the thighs, right against your lap. And let it also expand in the low spine, near the kidneys, the backside of the body, and then the exhale lets everything release out. Let's practice this breath. It's very grounding and helps us to really anchor into the present moment. Above the kidneys, we have the adrenal glands. So when you're breathing, feel that you're discharging any stress, any fearful response to anything in your life. You might walk your hands a little bit further away from your hips to lengthen your spine a bit more if that feels comfortable. And let's move our breath now from the region of the belly up into the heart. So breathing into the front and the back side of the heart. Maybe visualizing that your breath is like a wave rolling into the body, raising the total level of awareness, and then on exhalation, quieting, withdrawing. And the last of our practice will be up at the point between the two eyebrows. See if you can get a sense of your breath rising up through the nose, expanding through the brain, and washing away any negative thought, any darkened state of consciousness, and breathing light, purity, expansion. Before we rise from this position, Just take a moment to set an intention for your practice or to say a little prayer. See if you can attune yourself with a greater reality, a nobler motive within your heart. When you're ready to rise, we're going to very gently start lifting the hips and walking the hands back towards the knees and peel right up into a cat position. So you're on tips of the fingers looking towards your lap. And then settle the whole shape down, hands underneath shoulders, knees under hips. Let's start with a few rounds of cat and cow. So the belly goes low, chin reaches high, crown of the head higher. And then exhale to round up into your cat position. If you can, keep your elbows close by the ribs. And follow your natural inclination and inner inspiration as you breathe and sense what's happening in your spine this morning. You might notice which part of your spine is articulating more than another and start to bring a sense of balance. So articulation all the way from the base of the spine up into the space behind the shoulders, behind the heart. And then when you're ready to, toes tuck underneath, we'll inhale and come right up onto the knees. Float the hands behind you as much as they can reach, and then come up above the head and hands right down to the heart center. Good. Let's go ahead and pretend like we're going to sit, but don't take the full seat. Inhale and sweep the arms up and around. Just a few times like this, nice and slow. Feeling the thighs engaging. You might even hover if you're working on strengthening the legs. And see if you can get a sense of this feeling of everything rising up, higher in the spine. Good. And hands coming down. Last time, inhaling to reach all the way up. We're going to settle hands down on the base of the hips for camel position. Heels of the hands on top side of the hips and squeeze elbows and shoulders behind you. Let all of the breath center into the heart and begin to really open this part of your body and on a physical and energetic level. Good. Final breath, inhaling to expand. Exhale, soften the hips behind you and reach for your heels. We're going to round the back and drop the crown of the head to the ground. This is hare position. Hips pull away from the heels. Head pulls towards the knees. There should be no weight on the head. We're just here for a few moments. And the belly is pushing up into the spine. You're creating the biggest rainbow shape of your spine you can. Now when you're ready to release, slide the hands under the shoulders and come back into tabletop position. We'll take knees a little bit wider and just start circling the hips to begin moving and shifting the energy in the base of the spine. And you might start like a tight little circle in the middle, but start to wander out to the periphery and really move into the areas where the hips may not normally travel. You might draw some awareness just to the expression on your face and notice if there's any holding in the face. And if there's any holding in your shoulders or your spine, and then we'll circle the opposite direction when you're ready. Take your time here so that you can really get into those areas that are needing attention, and let your breath be the soothing quality within those areas. And then come into center when you're ready. We're going to go ahead and push our hips up towards the sky, and our first real formal posture will come into downward facing dog. Now you can take one foot off of the ground, bend and straighten the leg, bend and straighten the leg higher if you'd like, and then do the other side. You can do a little marching in place if that's helpful. One knee bends, opposite leg straightens. And make sure that you're looking behind you towards your lap to release the head and the neck. The affirmation for this pose: calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. When you're ready to lower down, knees come onto the earth. We're going to go ahead and slide up into cat position first, round the back just to reverse any arching. And then inhale, we're going to lower on to the ground. So walk the knees back, elbows by the ribs, lower yourself onto the earth. Toes untuck and release behind you. Let's inhale and press down through the pelvic bone and see if you might be able to float your hands behind you and lift your chest. Good. Let's come down and just reach back and pull the ribs out from underneath the body until you feel very spacious, and then come back into the pose. Let's push down through the pelvic bone and float the hands maybe an inch off the ground or more. Anybody can get an interlacing of fingers. You might be able to get a nice flush of the shoulders. Good. The affirmation: I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. I recall my scattered forces to recharge my spine. All right, let's draw hands underneath the face, elbows underneath the shoulders into Sphinx pose. So you're resting here. You can bend the knees if you'd like and point the toes. Pull on the elbows and just stay in this little point of traction in your low spine. Nice deep breathing. Maybe a final breath here, lengthening through crown of the head. Exhaling, let the toes tuck underneath, press the elbows out of the way. We're going to inhale and reverse our way up here. So use the knees if you need to. And just touch into child's pose for a moment. Good. Inhale, nose stays low and slide forward into cow position. Nice arching of the spine. Good. Exhale, point the right foot as far back as it can go and tuck the belly wall up and in. Left arm can reach out when you feel stable. So we're in Sunbird, Surya Churya. Thumb pointing up of your extended hand. Good. When you feel ready to, exhale and contract the shape. Round the back and draw elbow and knee nice and close together. And then inhale to find a new sense of articulation or expression. Good. If you'd like another one, you go ahead and come in towards the center. Everything nice and relaxed here. Calm concentration. And then we'll set that side down. Let's inhale, come into cow position. We're going into downward facing dog to reset. Look behind you for a breath. Good. Inhale, roll up through plank. That means belly pushes up towards the sky. Knees come down to the earth. Opposite side, we send left foot back, right arm forwards, extending from the navel in to the arm and leg. Nice deep breathing, thumb pointing up, and lift your gaze a little bit if you can here. If you liked on the other side, exhalation takes knee and elbow together and push the belly up into the spine. Make yourself into a little ball and then extend back out. And then we come back into that shape if you enjoy it, or maybe you need it. Good. And then stabilize for a moment before you finish the pose. Exhalation takes you down. Good. And let's go ahead and even out here. So take the belly and just roll it up into the spine and then down towards the earth. Try to relax in your hips, relax in your spine, let it all flush out. Even the shoulders. And then reverse the direction. Get everything moving, all the internal organs massaged by the inner movements of the belly. All right, we're going to go ahead and walk our hands back towards our feet. You're going to come all the way into a forward folding position. You can inhale, take your hands onto your thighs and press off of your thighs and grow the spine right from the hips, nice long spine. And see if you can roll your shoulders behind you like they were folding behind the heart. Nice deep breath. And then exhale and release that to the earth. We're going to roll our way up the spine. Good. Draw the hands up front side of the body. And exhale. Let's go ahead and find a little bit of a seat. Just bend the knees, let the hands come down. Good. Inhale right back up. Gather that sense of everything rising. And then exhale, bend the knees. Option this time to come onto the balls of the feet. Good. Inhale, you can stay on balls of the feet, go all the way up. Good, and then exhale, come down. Just have one more round like this and we're going to stay. So inhale all the way up. All right, if heels are lifted, keep them lifted, palms out in front of the body. Roll the shoulders down and back. Hips are under shoulders. Good, sink into a place that's stimulating for the body. The affirmation, my body is no burden, I am light as air. My body is no burden, I am light as air. When you're ready to rise, draw the hands down. Inhale, heels go to the earth, arms up above the head. Exhale, just stand tall in the spine. Weight towards balls of the feet. Let's turn it all inward for a moment. Always finish at the point between the two eyebrows. And we'll gently open the eyes. Let's come into a half moon pose. You can inhale and sweep your arms up and over towards your left side to begin. So stand tall through the spine and then reach up and over. Keep growing up first, then to the side. And see if you can gaze over towards your right side just to make sure that your heart stays open. So we want to make sure, I'll show you from the side here, that we're not closing down, but we're staying open in the spine. The affirmation, strength and courage fill my body cells. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Inhale to brighten through the center. Good. Exhale, take a full reset. Bow over the lap until you reach down towards the ground. Press off of the thighs. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Elbows hug by the ribs. And exhale to fold. Bend the knees and roll up the spine. Nice, slow stacking. Good. Inhale, arms all the way up and around. Exhale, gentle bend of the knees, sink down into the pose, and we're going to rise right into the other side. So hands in prayer, inhale up and off to the side. I like to step my feet close together. You may step your feet a little wider apart to give you more stability. Good. And just make sure that the heart isn't closing down. Turn the heart open even if it means you stand straighter. Strength and courage fill my body cells. You might be able to relax a little bit in between the ribs and find in the wake of that relaxation greater strength to expand and grow. Beautiful. The inhale takes you up through center. So you can come on the tips of the toes and really get tall in the body. Reach the arms as high as they'll go. Good, let's exhale, bend the elbows and set the shoulder blades behind the body. So you can stay like this if you want. And we're gonna slowly come down again into our chair position. Good. And we're gonna transition here. Go ahead and engage the belly muscles, send the hands, still everything pressing behind, interlace the fingers. Now push the hips behind you. So use the strength of the belly. Good. And then inhale, use that gathering energy of the core and draw the hands into the heart. So this is a good transition. We're going to slowly bow forwards. Be very mindful of your low spine. See if you can hook one of your elbows onto the knees. Doesn't matter which side you start. And you stack the elbows one on top of the other. And then inhaling, very important to engage the belly muscles before you transition to stabilize. Should be no sense of panic. We're going to the other side. Everything nice and calm. A natural extension of your practice level. Good. Try to breathe. Nice steady breath. Inhaling, coming through center. Release the hands and put them right onto the thighs. When you're ready, inhale and stand up through the spine. Nice tall spine. Good. Exhale, just turn the palms out and take a moment to rest. Relax the low spine and the belly. And let's come back to, we're going to do a pyramids pose, so you can go ahead and take a step back with your right foot. It's only about one step for this pose. Front leg is nice and straight. Your kneecap is drawn up, thighs engaged. Okay, so when we start, hands are on the hips, and I want you to lead with your heart. Use the belly muscles, but lead with the heart. Keep it nice and open. If you feel that you can be stable here, stay for a few moments. If you'd like to draw hands into the heart, you can go a little further. And you just gently lower as much as you're ready to while pushing out of the left foot. So this is the active aspect of the pose, and it's important that we keep our low spine strength, or strong rather. If you need to take hands to the thigh, maybe you have already, you're most welcome to brace under your thigh, and then slowly we'll start to round. And you start with the head, move through the heart, down into the navel, until you reach the low spine and the whole back begins to round and rest. Your hands can rest wherever they naturally fall. It could be the thigh. It could be down towards the shin or ankle. And when you're in the pose, think hips are always drifting backwards. The affirmation, I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. See if you can feel that sense of moving with the current of life in your practice. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. As we prepare to exit the pose, front knee starts to bend. So shift the weight forward, walk above the knee with the hands, round the back as you push away and start to rise up. Front knee stays bending. Inhale, sweep the arms up and around and let the arms plug into the shoulders for Muktasan or freedom pose. You may note where your awareness is anchored. Is it evenly spread throughout the body? Is it closer towards the ground or up towards the sky? All right, when you're ready, you can inhale and step through. Hands come down and come right back to the front side of the mat. We're just going to do the other side briefly, stepping our left foot back this time. So front leg is straightening and hands are onto the hips. So same thing, lengthen out of the spine, start leaning forwards. Good. Really tone the belly and the low spine. Find a place that you can sustain. It's to our benefit for our own personal growth if we can find a place that is challenging, that awakens us beyond our present horizons. If you take hands into the heart, you can do that as well, or hands to the thigh. Just get a sense of the whole spine expanding, and then slowly, as you're ready to, the head rounds first, upper back rounds, middle back, all the way into the navel, the belly, and we're folding forwards, looking behind us. Slide the hands into any comfortable position that's available to you. And once more, the affirmation, I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Long, deep breath, carrying you into the depths of your pose. Try to relax at the bottom of it. When you're ready to rise, slow bending of the front knee. Walk the hands above that knee. And then just start to press your way off of the thigh, round the back. And as you step, or as you rise, let arms come all the way up above the head and plug down into the shoulders. So important in this posture, your heart is really what leads in this pose. So your shoulders are almost drawn behind you. Palms are up. Beautiful. The affirmation, I am free, I am free. When you're ready to rise through, you inhale, separate the palms and step through and let the arms come down. Good. So let's just take a moment here, stand towards the balls of the feet, knees slightly bent, neutral hips, your spine in its natural curvature, open heart, lifted, the chin drawn towards the throat, crown of the head towards the sky, and we'll look to the spiritual eye for maybe about 3 to 5 breaths, total relaxation. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. And then slowly coming back to eyes opening. Let's take a gentle bend of the knees. We'll gather the palms. Double inhale to tense the arms apart. Double exhale, release. Again. One more. Tense, full tension at the top. Relax to the center. Good. Soft hands into the heart. Let's tense out. Relax in. Exhale forward. Tense forward. Double inhale up. Double exhale down. Okay? So we're tensing out. Tensing forward. Tensing up. Relaxing down. Single inhale out. Single exhale forward. Double inhale up. Double exhale down. A couple more. So really oxygenate the body here. Good. And we'll do the affirmation. I'm positive. I'm energetic, enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. How about one more? I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic. All right, we're going to move into a breath of joy. You're going to inhale once up, once out, once above, and then release it all in a forward fold. So inhale up, out, all the way above, and release. Make it nice and smooth, the length of your own breath. Be careful in the swinging into the forward fold of your low spine. And you could say joy, joy, ever new joy. Joy, joy, ever new joy. One more time. And release all the way down. Good. Let's stay down here. You can hold onto your elbows and take a little swinging side to side if you'd like. Alright, when you do come back to center, bend the knees enough that you can touch the floor. We'll step both feet behind us and take downward facing dog for a few moments. We'll just keep with this energy of upward current by inverting the body. Now we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So go ahead and float the left foot as high as it can go behind you. Point the toes, reach, reach, reach as high as it can go. And then when you're ready, you exhale and draw that knee in between the hands. Ankle stays right underneath the body if your hips are very sensitive. Some of us can sweep it out to the side and we slide down and untuck the back toes. So get stable in the hands here. I like to bow the heart forwards, roll the shoulders down and back, and pin them behind the heart, and then lift with the strength of the arms. Good. Nice deep breath. The affirmation, I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. And it can be helpful to pull on the heels of the hands and let the heart really lead this pose. And once you feel like you've stimulated enough in the active phase, you can walk the hands a little more central. Some of us even drop onto forearms and let the head come down. It can be nice to stack your hands one on top of the other if you need a little extra lift for your head. And stick with the affirmation if you can. There's a deep or esoteric meaning to this affirmation. And let's see if we can tune into it from a level of consciousness. That the higher our consciousness becomes, the less we abide in time, past and future. Now make sure before you leave the resting pose that you really let go of the whole body for a moment. And to let the activity of the inhalation bring you back towards your hands. We'll pass through the pose one last moment or so here. Elbows are bent right by the ribs, and pull the heart forwards and then up. You'll find a lot more space in your low spine this way. Okay, to exit the pose, lean forward, lower the belly as much as you can, tuck the back toes underneath first. Shift the weight into your hands, lift the back knee, then the hips, then weights fully into the hands, and you should be able to slide step out of the pose. Take a nice long expression of downward facing dog, really pushing through the hips. It'll help to flush that energy that we've stimulated from the hips. Now, careful in downward dog not to just hang in your arms, but to always be actively and calmly pressing out of the hands. Your hips go higher as your heels get heavier. When you're ready to, the right foot lifts into the sky and you point as high as you can. It could be an inch off the ground, it could be up towards the sky, and then draw the knee up towards the center of your hands. So you keep the ankle centered under the body if you're very sensitive in your hips. Otherwise, you kick it out and off to your left side and then slide into the pose. Good. Once you feel a little more comfortable in the pose, you might untuck the back toes and lower your heart forwards. Keep the elbows close by the ribs, and then inhale, pulling on heels of the hands, you can lift into the pose. This should give you more space in your lower spine. Let's see if we can relax in the pose and recall the affirmation. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. I rise above all thought of past and future into the eternal now. As you feel to, you can lower yourself down. So some of us, we just let our head come down, and this is plenty. But if you can make it to the forearms, even stacking the hands one on top of the other is a nice way to rest your head. Let your consciousness continue to expand, especially if the sensation feels strong in your body. Imagine that your being is as vast as the landscape around you. Just as we did on the first side, before you rise, really soften the whole body. Let go deep into the spine. Hands back underneath the shoulders, one at a time. Press your way back up. Allow a moment here to come into the full expression, pulling on heels of the hands towards your hips. All right, to exit, bow the heart as far forward as you can. Tuck the back toes underneath first. Good, shift some weight into the hands. Lift the back knee, lift off of hips, even off of front knee, and step back. And take your time here in this downward facing dog. The affirmation, calmness radiates from every fiber of my being. Now is a good time to stretch the muscles of the face so you can squeeze the eyes closed, sort of roll the lips or the jaw a few times, wrinkle the forehead. All right, when you're ready to, knees come down to the earth, and we're going to sweep the feet out and around. Before we come down onto our backs, we'll take a forward fold. So go ahead and just pull the glute muscle out of the way. Sit nice far forwards here. Let's come into Dandasana, so push off of the earth with the palms of your hands. Sit nice and tall in your spine. See how much of yourself you can withdraw into the spine and then up towards the brain. So you can just turn your fingers to point behind you. You can even come up onto the pads of the fingers and start to lean forwards. So most of us, we may just get an inch or two forward here. Keep the chin tucked towards the throat, the back of the neck expansive, and just slowly sink forwards here. The affirmation as we slowly settle into the pose: I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me. At some point, the spine can round and you can fold yourself as much as your body's comfortably ready to do so over the lap. You might even walk your hands towards your feet somewhere. And see if you can get a sense of how the nervous system starts to reset in any forward folding pose. And then we'll inhale and come out of the position, standing through the spine. Just go ahead and scoot your hips forwards. We're going to hold on the backs of the thighs and go ahead and round onto our backs. We're going to come into plow position right away. So plug your elbows into the ground and push off your elbows to sweep your feet behind you. You can hold onto your hips. If your feet touch the ground, let them rest there. They do not have to. Careful not to look left or right in the pose. You can look up and down and just make sure that behind your neck there's a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle room there. The affirmation, new life, new consciousness now flood my brain. New life, new consciousness now flood my brain. Now you may opt to bend the knees in your plow pose and let them come somewhere by your ears. This is a slightly different pose. If they touch the ears, you can hug them against your ears very gently. There's a wonderful soothing feeling that comes with that. And especially at the end of our practices, take all the time that you need in these postures. If they feel deeply nourishing, then stay in them longer than the guidance that you're receiving. When you are ready to come out, you just slowly bend the knees and you're on your back in a little ball. It can be quite nice to let the feet connect down towards the ground and wave the knees side to side. Take the arms nice and wide out to either side or even above you. So the whole body is waving from one side to the other. Now, if you want to strengthen your core, just make sure that you have a healthy low spine. And an indication of that would be that you've never had an injury there, but even still, be mindful. So you can lift your feet off of the ground and just use the strength of your belly to rotate your knees from one side to the other. So ideally you feel very relaxed in this little inquiry. If you feel confident going side to side, you can take it three-dimensional and keep the knees close together and circle them around. So you're rolling in a circle on your sacrum. And this can be wonderful. Further away the knees are from the belly, the more it will strengthen your belly. Nice deep breathing. At some point you may transition into holding hands on each of the knees and just stir the knees out wide and away from each other. So circle them out nice and wide, like your femur bones are big wooden mixing spoons in the bowl of your hips, and you're stirring them out and around. And be mindful of what's happening in your heart, in your throat, the expression of your face as this energy starts to move. And then we'll shore it all back up together, strengthening the spine by placing the feet down onto the earth, knees are bending. And you're going to inhale and sweep your hips up off of the earth. This is bridge position. Push especially through soles of the feet and let that downward force bring upward energy through your legs. Squeeze your thighs and your glutes, just enough to keep you firm in the pose. Some of us like to sweep our hands underneath the space of our spine and interlace the fingers, and you squeeze the shoulders underneath the body. And see if you can get a sense of all the energy that we've been stimulating coming back into your spine and creating a solid yet flexible central column of energy in your body. So that the muscles are relaxed, yet they are firmly supporting your spine, everything healthy. Stay a little longer if you'd like. Or if you feel to come down, you just move the hands out of the way, let the hips come down again. We're going to take our left leg as far out away from the body as we can, right knee in towards the chest. And just give that side a hug. If you feel to, you can draw your head towards the knee. This is great for the digestive organs. If you are lifting your head, keep your chin tucked in towards the collarbone. Good. And then release on that side, and we'll switch over. Right knee goes all the way out, left knee comes in. Make sure you drop the head in between, and then inhale to reaffirm if you're joining forehead and knee towards each other. And releasing when you're ready, both legs out long. We're going to do a posture that is good for toning the entire body. Join your feet together so you're lying down on your back. We're going to lift the head off of the ground and float the palms up in front of us. Okay, so first stage. And if you can, tighten the belly and see if you can point the toes and even float the legs off of the ground. It's a challenging posture, but it's good for toning the whole body. Stay as long as you can and breathe. Push the low back into the earth for extra support. The affirmation, my body vibrates with thy cosmic current. My body vibrates with thy cosmic current. And you release when you're ready to. Arms all the way over the head. Take a deep breath or along the earth. And relax. If you feel like you could do another round, now would be the time. So you start by lifting head off the ground, palms floating. Push the low back into the earth and point the toes to lift with the strength of the belly. And you just release down when you're ready to and rest on the back. Good. Nice deep breathing. Arms can go up overhead for a final expansion if you'd like. You can even reach off to one side or the other. If your low back feels like it needs a little attention, you just bend the knees and wave them side to side. And we're going to start the gradual transition into our meditation aspect of this practice. So if you'd like, you can come into Shavasana or any final postures throughout the duration of this portion of the class. We'll have a chant to take us deeper into our practice. You can also sit in meditative posture if you'd like. Make your final little articulations to get you into the final resting pose. If you're on your back, you might tuck your shoulder blades underneath the heart, let the palms face up. If you're in seated meditation pose, relax your spine up taller. Let's take a few moments to center in our heart. And as you listen to this chant, feel that the energy of your heart is being inwardly directed as devotion, as your soul's aspiration. Let's gradually begin the awakening process back into the body. Remaining anchored in whatever internal peace you've cultivated in this practice today. Sensitively aware of any grace that is moving through you. We'll gradually invite the gentle movements of fingers and toes. Even the eyes looking up to the point between the two eyebrows, drawing deep inhalation into the body. And then you can, in your own timing, begin to draw the knees back towards the chest, hugging the body in a little ball, rolling side to side. See if you could navigate this transition peacefully as we feel the mind come back and the personality, sensations of the body. And we'll just let our bodies lovingly roll off onto our right side. Maybe let this be a moment just to be vulnerable, to be receptive to the hands of grace. Whatever benefit that you feel in your practice, you can really let it soak in this deep state of receptivity. We'll all join in a comfortable seated pose in your own timing. Lifting your way from the earth. When you do arrive, sit nice and tall. Let the heart be the first part of your body to meet the world. Tune your consciousness into your body. See how deeply you can relax and yet still feel that you are being pulled upward. And let's gaze from the soul's perspective out through the point between the two eyebrows into the infinitely vast space all around us. Feel how vast you are. How free you are. Let's finish with the affirmation, nothing on earth can hold me. Nothing on earth can hold me. No desire, no attachment, we are free. Nothing on earth can hold me. to add, rise, O my soul, in freedom. Gently join the hands together in prayer position, and we'll close our practice today with healing prayers. Calling into your heart somebody that could benefit from an uplifting prayer. See them bathed in love and light, receiving all that they need in this moment. Let's rub our palms together. Just offer our bodies as a channel for this light to flow through into the world. You can imagine healing angels surrounding these people. Let's take a deep breath and we'll Om 3 times. Let's hold space together for a moment, maybe with just a final Om for this day in history, which for this country has quite a strong importance as the inauguration day. And let's feel ourselves tuned in with all those souls right now in this very moment who are praying for this day, that it be peaceful, and that a spirit of kindness and harmony flow through the minds and hearts of all souls. And do one final Om, deep breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Gentle bow of our head towards our hands in prayer. We bow to the divine by saying Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I hope that you can take this energy out into your day and keep it flowing in a nice positive way and share it with anybody that you meet. We'll see you back for our next class. So have a wonderful day, everyone.